All right, guys, what is going on? Hope you've had a great weekend. Man, it's been nice here. So, hope you had a great weekend. Hope everybody's doing okay. I'm going to be doing a Summer Wells video on this one just to keep her name and her story out there and just some things of concern that I have in the investigation. Just, going off my thoughts and opinions and some of the concerns I have and stuff that's just that I find interesting in the Summer Wells case. So, been a little over 3 years now, and not a word. So I guess investigators are still, going at it. But thing is, I mean, if there's foul play involved and the people that done it didn't leave much evidence behind, and it's going to be up to maybe the criminals to maybe open their mouth and mess up and make a mistake. Will they ever do that? Will they ever do that? That's the question. So, if you guys are new to my channel and you've not heard me talk about the Summer Wells case before, she is from East Tennessee, in Hawkins County in East Tennessee, and went missing June 15th, 2021, while she was at home with her mother. And, just 1 minute she was there, and the next minute she was gone. So one of the interesting things to me was how there would have been dirt to hand contact right before she went missing. The mother said that, they went to transplant flowers, and everybody was, just going all over social media saying those weren't flowers, those weren't flowers. I don't know what they were transplanting, but whatever she showed, they wasn't no flowers. But to me, it just seemed interesting where, okay, you've got this little girl that went missing, could be buried somewhere nearby, and just so happens that, before she went missing, there would have been dirt to hand contact. So that's kind of interesting to me, guys. That's one of the things that's interesting to me. It's kind of worrisome too. The other thing that's interesting to me is when Chris McDonough was interviewing Hunter and his mom. Well, I think it was Hunter's mom and Hunter's mom's friend. It was Allie, and God, I can't think of her name now. Anyway, it was Chris McDonough was interviewing Hunter's mom and some other lady, and he was kind of asked them, hey, what do y'all think happened? And Hunter's mom just plainly came out and said, well, I'll tell you what, she said, I think she killed her. And that's kind of interesting and worrisome at the same time for someone close to, the family to say, well, and she didn't hesitate or nothing. I mean, she just, frankly came out and said, I think she killed her, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I don't think they ever played that part as to why she thinks that, Candace may have killed Summer. But, that's kind of interesting and worrisome at the same time, is that, here someone is close to the family, and they have no problem saying, I think she killed her. I think her mom killed her. That's bothersome. That's bothersome. But again, unless you got proof, unless you got evidence, ain't gonna be no prosecution, right? And here's one of the things in my opinion point here, guys. In my opinion, CPS was involved with the Wells on some serious issues, and they may have been facing felony charges in relation to Summer being under the age of 8 years old. We all know that CPS was involved somehow. Now, Don says that they were involved because of this, and he said they ended up dropping the case. Don gave his version of what happened, but we never really got the version of CPS. We never got CPS's version of what happened. You know what I mean? But in my opinion, CPS is up there, and I believe some serious stuff was going on, that CPS was looking at. And when I got to doing some research, for you to catch a felony charge on child abuse or child neglect in Tennessee, the child has to be under the age of 8 years old. And the only one up there that was under the age of 8 years old was Summer Wells. And she's the only one out of them kids that went missing. Okay. So, in my opinion, that's interesting. That, and I just assume, we've not heard from CPS. There's two sides to every story. Don Wells has told his side as to why CPS was up there right before Summer went missing. I would love to hear why CPS. I'd like to hear from CPS as to why they were up there, and if they, if what Don was saying is true. You know what I mean? So again, there's two sides to every story, but we're not getting the side from CPS, which I wished we had. Because if CPS basically come out and say, yeah, everything he's saying is true, well, then that'd give Don and Candace some validity as to what they're saying. But I don't think we're going. I don't think we're going to hear from CPS. It's all because that's all like kind of like, I guess, like HIPAA stuff, privacy stuff. And the other interesting thing too is the last we heard from police, the family's not cooperating with the investigation. Now, what does that mean? I do not know. It means basically what Ronnie Lawson says. The family is not cooperating with the investigation. He said they had attorneys, and those attorneys may have been, for the CPS issue on the boys, right? But that's think about it, guys. That's come and gone. They've lost custody, right? They've lost custody. That's behind us. So, are they cooperating now? Right? Are they cooperating? I don't think they are. Because also, the last time we heard from Don and Candace on like the 3-year mark of when Summer went missing, Don was saying that, he was saying the police basically, talked bad about him. CPS talked, Don talked bad about the police. He talked bad about CPS, basically said CPS kidnapped their kids. Basically said, the police just treated them like crap. And so with Don saying all that, I don't think that they still are investigating or cooperating with the investigation. And there's a lot more to it, guys. If you're new to the case, there's a lot more to it. Allegedly they threw Candace, the mother, in the back of a cop car and took her down to the police station to interrogate her, which is kind of concerning too. It's very interesting. she allegedly called the boy that she spent the day with that evening and said that Summer was missing. And he told his mom, he said, well, you know how she is when she gets drunk and high at the same time. That concerns me now, because if Candace was, messed up, how messed up was she, right? Are we looking at maybe a possible Leilani Simon situation here, right? Was she messed up when police got there? I would love to see the body cam footage from, because there were multiple agencies that showed up that evening. I know Hawkins County doesn't have body cams. I believe Greene County does, and they were one of the responding agencies that were there that evening helping out with everything, and several other agencies. And I'm sure they've got body cam footage, and it would be very, very interesting to see how Dawn and Candace acted that night on body cam footage. You know what I mean? There were rumors that Candace wouldn't come out and talk to police, right? But if we seen that on body cam footage, it would validate it, right? It was just, and the questioning, like, what was, how Dawn always talks religious stuff. What was Dawn talking weird religious stuff to the police? You know what I mean? How far, were they even helpful that night talking to the police as far as trying to give them information on finding Summer? You know what I mean? Because if Candace was 3 sheets to the wind, and, because allegedly Hunter said, you know how she is when she gets drunk and high at the same time. What was she, how do you question someone about your missing kid if they're, messed up, right? So, and I don't think we ever heard from anybody that night. We never heard from Jody Sue, anybody that night that was up there with Candace and Dawn. I don't think any of them said one way or another if what Hunter said was true. I wish they would. I don't think they have. I might be wrong, guys. I might be wrong. But, that's a question, Jody Sue could answer. Was Candace messed up? And, in her opinion, was Candace really messed up? When Summer went missing, was she messed up when the cops got there? Because Jody Sue was over there helping look for Summer, I think even before the cops got there, I believe. And the other thing too, if Candace was that messed up, according to Hunter, how would she be able to drive around looking for Summer? You know what I mean? Now, some people can. Don't get me wrong. Some people can. They're functioning, whatever. But, and I guess it depends on your level of, being messed up too. Are you slightly messed up? Are you 3 sheets to the wind where, you're just going to go 100 feet and bam into a tree or into a ditch? But with what Hunter was kind of saying, and with Candace saying that she drove around looking for Summer for a short bit, how messed up was she? Thinking about it now, it kind of don't make sense because, Hunter made it sound like she was really messed up, but yet she wasn't messed up enough to drive around and end up in a ditch somewhere. You know what I mean? So it would be interesting to hear from another person that was there to say, yeah, she was kind of messed up, but she wasn't that messed up. You know what I mean? She was like, she shouldn't have been looking for Summer in a vehicle because she was like, gone. It'd be kind of interesting to hear someone else's perspective on how messed up Candace was. So anyway, guys, that's what I've got for you. Going to be doing a Sebastian Rogers video a little bit later. I'll be dropping that a little bit later, so stay tuned for that. So just wanting to keep the keep the story out there on Summer Wells. Been a little over 3 years now, still nothing. And the way these things can go, sometimes, like I said in one of my other videos, there's a lady in Hawkins County got murdered, and 8 years before they finally arrested somebody, and it ended up being like one of her close friends that done it to her, I guess, or a close acquaintance. But that lady was right there under police's nose the whole 8 years, and it took them 8 years to finally prove that she was the one that done it. So, what do you do, guys? What do you do? Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you for listening, and I will see y'all this evening. Be looking for a Sebastian Rogers video. I'm going to go over some things that I think are still interesting in that case. So, I'll see you guys later on that. Thank you for tuning in. Go drop in comments below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next video.